Hi, my name is Lami Yates. I'm TraXel's nurse coach. I'm a board certified health and wellness coach, and I have many years experience as a registered nurse also. This is part 2 of helping to bridge the gap in healthcare. I wanted to just continue this conversation a little bit more. With episode 5, I talked about the big gap or discrepancy with healthcare as far as trillions of dollars being spent on healthcare, yet we still have a significant increase in the last few decades, increase with chronic diseases, including heart disease, obesity, diabetes, but also chronic conditions, including multiple sclerosis. So I just wanted to address that. Holistic health is one of the many ways to help bridge this gap. Holistic health approach is really just incorporating a whole person-centered approach, not only looking at your physical state of being, but your mental and emotional state as well, and looking at everything as far as lifestyle and even environmental factors, etc. So with this episode, again, I just wanted to go a little bit more in detail about holistic health approach to this subject. So with that, it's very important to talk about getting to the root of disease and not just treating the symptom to fix it. Really looking at the bigger picture and what could be the cause of that. So an example would be symptom of fatigue, one that a lot of us deal with. Yes, of course, it's maybe obvious that maybe you were fatigued because you did too much and you need to take a nap. That's great, but really kind of looking again at the bigger picture and figuring out, well, did I have a rough day at work and I'm mentally taxed from that, or had a big fight with my spouse, and so that can cause headaches and again make you mentally fatigued, causing you to be physically tired. Also just pinpointing maybe what you ate and drank that day. Sometimes you may not have realized that maybe you had a fancier coffee drink and had a ton of sugar that morning, because we all know that sugar can make you crash later, oftentimes causing the fatigue. But so again, I know that it's not a symptom that can exactly be totally preventable and we can make completely go away, but we can definitely look at all the factors and all the angles that may be contributing to it and making it worse. Also, maybe you might notice that if you don't exercise that day, you're actually more fatigued. So kind of just looking at the whole picture again to see what makes it worse and to see what helps. So then what's next? We get back to the basics again and really get back to the importance of gut health and having a happy and healthy metabolism. And I know I've talked about this in episode 3 with connection to the body. And so maybe you're just joining for the first time and haven't heard me talk about it, or even if you did already, I feel like it's still important to just review and give a friendly reminder, because that's how so important it is to our overall health. And so with proper metabolic state and gut health, it really can just help produce good energy, right? Because that's what it's all about. Food we put into our body, digestion, and then helps produce energy as far as how well our body works, how well our mood is, how we're able to function. It affects so many things. And why is it important? It helps decrease inflammation, which, inflammation can often cause our symptoms to be worse, whether that is fatigue, whether that is numbness or tingling or pain. Inflammation definitely does not help those things. So also, in addition to inflammation, it's so important for good metabolism and gut health as far as the efficacy of our treatments that we're on. So a lot of us are on either pills or injections or infusions or whatever it may be. So important for our gut health to be in a good state, because 60 to 70% of our immunity is within our colon, within our gut. So it's huge to have that functioning at a high level so that the medications and the treatments that we're on can actually work to the best ability as possible. So that's, again, very important. So I've talked about this before, but really just looking at food as medicine and really thinking about what we're putting into our bodies and focusing on nutrient-dense diet, well-balanced diet. And I know it can be super confusing with all these diets out there now, but really just focusing on well-balanced diets. So again, healthy proteins, lean meat, chicken, fish, focusing on lots of fruits and vegetables, especially the vegetables. That helps with fiber, that can help control our blood sugars, that can help with so many things as far as our health and with our just circulation and everything with bowel movements, you name it. All of that really does help with just our overall well-being. I know I'm getting a little bit detailed there, but that's the nurse side of me, and it is real life. But again, the importance of fiber with whole grains and vegetables is fiber so good for heart health and for feeding the good bacteria in your gut for digestion. And again, too, just focusing on healthy fats, eggs, avocado, fish, and just really watching our sugar intake, especially with added sugars. And of course, not just with sweets, which is okay, of course, to treat yourself, but really just kind of being mindful of it and watching added sugars with drinks, especially, or condiments that we're adding to our food. So also with that, it kind of just trickles down to, again, the basics, making sure you're hydrated, which we've talked about, lots of water, making sure you're getting adequate sleep so your body can recover. And also just making sure you're getting movement in. And of course, if you're able to walk and bike and do all those things, that's fantastic. But even if you are a little bit more restricted with your mobility, it's even important to just do chair exercises or arm exercises or just any movement of what you're able to do, even in 15, 20-minute increments throughout the day is super beneficial rather than not doing anything like that at all. I also know that there was a comment on a post a few months back just regarding the expense of eating healthy, and I totally understand that. We all know that the prices at the grocery store have gone up significantly, and very well aware of that, but really just remembering all your options. So you can still always just consider using frozen fruits and veggies are still good for you. You can do lots of like canned beans or lentils, other legumes, things like that are also budget friendly, and maybe even doing like a mini garden is something that I've tried in the past. I have to kind of get back to that, but I'm also just at least doing little herbs and things like that, like green onions. I just put it in a jar of water once it gets down to like the white part, or I'll leave a little bit of the green part left above the white stem, but putting that in water and mason jar on my windowsill, things like that. And just being mindful too of food waste. We really have to take that in consideration too, as far as finances go. So One of the ways too I like to do as far as vegetables is using, for example, the broccoli stems. A lot of people throw that away. I use the leaves and the stems, and I just chop them up really good and just keep them in the freezer. And then I'll use them to make soups and things like that. Soups are a huge way to be budget friendly. For example, like using stems of broccoli, things like that. Again, easy to use because you can just put it in your freezer and it'll last months. And then you can use soups also are just a good way in general to get your vegetables in and also be budget friendly and easy to incorporate with your weekly meals. So that's also just another part of holistic health, is not only the mind, body, soul part, but really just looking at everything again. It's always about the bigger picture of your lifestyle, your environmental aspects of it. So everything is incorporated with holistic health. And so in conclusion, I kind of just wanted to stress the importance of making sure that we're empowering ourselves and really trying to figure out ways how to make true, realistic lifestyle changes. So not just quick fixes, but what can really help us in the long run? What is something that we can actually change and do consistently? And it's really just about making progress, whether it's baby steps or big strides. It's really just about making progress and being consistent. And it's okay if we fall and just get back on track again, and that's totally fine. But really being aware of body awareness and where you're at in the moment, and being mindful of, again, every aspect, not just your physical well-being, but your mental and emotional state of being, and making sure that we're really dealing with emotions too, because emotions affect a lot of our health, of course, blood pressure, your heart rate, anxiety, stress, like a lot of that too. So just kind of taking care of your emotional state of being is super important. One of the things too, I just wanted to say is, obviously you all know that I love nurse coaching, but one of the many reasons I do is there's a mission that we're on. It's called Healthy Nurse, Healthy Nation. And it makes so much sense to me that we as nurses definitely need to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of others. Just like any other situation where if you're the caregiver of your family, you have to take care of yourself. Otherwise, you're not going to able to take good care of your family and others. So it's the same concept with nurses. So with this mission and with this movement, it's really just about nurses really taking the time to have self-care, really to prevent burnout, really to just focus on well-being so that we can be at our best to take care of others. And so I really love that mission. I really do my best to practice what I preach. I don't just talk about all this information just for you to do it. I also really, really try to incorporate it in my life and with my family and with my coworkers. I really try to spread the word and tell other nurses and healthcare professionals, especially, or just anybody, neighbors. Can you imagine, starts with one person, maybe just nurses in general. But there's 4 million registered nurses in the United States, and not to mention all my lovely LPNs and LVNs as well. So can you imagine if starting with just the nurses, we're really taking the time to take care of ourselves and really focus on our well-being. And if we spread that to other healthcare professionals and then spread that to the neighbors and then, of course, patients and just in general with the community, can you imagine the ripple effect that will take on our health overall? And of course, it'll take a long time to really get to a better place than where we're at with our healthcare, but it's definitely a huge start, and it definitely starts with us, and it starts now. So I was just going to say, as always, if you have any questions or comments or discussions, always just post it to the forum on mytraxel.com. And let's continue to keep each other healthy, everybody. I hope you have a great week. Thank you.